Hey guys, Leanne here on Gradysmom. Today's video is going to be 25 random facts about me. I thought this would be a good way for my new subscribers to learn more about me and my subscribers that have been with me for a long time to maybe learn some things about me that you wouldn't have otherwise known. And I think it's pretty fun too, because when I had to write my list, I just thought it was kind of fun to really think and dig deep about some things that I could share with you guys about me. So let's get started. Number one, that random fact about me. When I learned how to drive a car, which was 20 years ago, I learned on a stick shift, a manual. So all through my teenage years, even most of my 20s, I drove manual or stick shift. Some people call them manual, some people call them stick, but I drove a stick from when I learned how to drive. I took my road test on a manual and I drove a stick shift car. I always bought stick shift vehicles pretty much all through my teenage years and 20s, and then I switched to automatic later in my 20s, so kind of random. My second, number two, random fact is I love nature. I love mountains, lakes, the sky, sunsets, flowers, anything nature. I love it, which I don't think most people would maybe know about me. Number three, I hate ants. Little ants, big ants, red ants, black ants, I hate them. I hate them. They are my number one most hated bug, if you will. Number four, I am happiest in cooler weather. Now, not cold, but cool. I like 50 degrees. I could easily live in 50 degrees all year long. Number five, I hate needles. It's my biggest phobia of life. I hate needles. I hate anything to do with a needle. Anything with puncturing my skin, getting a shot, getting a piercing. I am just deathly afraid of needles. Honestly, one of the worst parts of my labor and delivery. I tested positive for strep B, I think it's called, which I don't really know too much about, but I had to get an IV for the strep B when I was in labor, and literally that was the worst part of my labor to me. That was worse than the contractions, than the pushing. It was the getting the needle for the strep B. That was the worst part because of my very, very deep phobia. Number six, Grady was almost named Jacoby with a Y. We went back and forth between the name Grady and the name Jacoby, and I was sort of set on Jacoby with a Y. And when he was born, I took one look at him and knew he didn't look like a Jacoby. So there you go, he was Grady. And I actually laughed when I wrote that one down, because if he had been named Grady or had been named Jacoby, my channel might have been Gradysmom, if I even had a channel at all. Who knows? But I thought that was kind of random. Number seven. I've lived in 6 states in the U.S. in my life, and I couldn't really believe that. I was pretty surprised, actually. But a majority of the time in my life, I've lived in New York State. But I have lived in 6 states in my life. So I thought that was kind of interesting, because I didn't even realize that until I counted in my mind all the states I've ever lived in. But New York was obviously the longest. Number 8, I can look at almost any car, modern day, like not a car from like the 30s or 40s, but any really modern day car, like, I don't know, 90s, 2000s, I can just look at it and I can tell you the year, make, and model, usually, of any car or truck or SUV. I don't know why. I think that's so random and weird, but I definitely can do that. Like, I can look at your car and say, this is a car, this is a year, this is a make, this is a model, and usually I'm right, which is super random. Number 9, my favorite ice cream brand is Ben & Jerry's. Love Ben & Jerry's. I grew up with a few Ben & Jerry's near me in upstate New York. Love them. There's only one Ben & Jerry's around where I live now that I have seen, and I actually haven't even gotten the chance to go there. I usually just buy the Ben & Jerry's ice cream when I do buy ice cream, which isn't that often, but love me some Ben & Jerry's. Number 10, I don't like talking on the phone. I will talk on the phone if I have to. Since I've moved to South Carolina, I've had to talk on the phone a lot more because my family and friends in New York are in New York. So if I want to talk to them, I have to talk on the phone. But I much prefer to talk in person to friends or family, or in general, I definitely prefer to talk in person to somebody. Number 11, I have a crush on Drake. Some of you guys know this already, and I also have a crush on J. Cole. I love his music. I love Drake's music. And normally I don't like a lot of newer music, but I love me some Drake. I love me some J. Cole, and I have a huge crush on both of them. And I think they're both really, really cool and cute, and I love them. Those are my current crushes, Drake and J. Cole. Number 12, I prefer to watch independent movies or like classic old movies like Casablanca or Gone with the Wind. I'm not I'm not going to say I'm opposed to watching new movies or like movies that just came out. It's not that, but I prefer, if I take a look in my mind even at all my favorite movies, most of my list is independent movies, indie flicks, or old movies, classic movies, like movies made long before I was born. I don't know why, I thought that was kind of random, but love independent movies and classic old movies. Number 13, I don't like sushi, which most people think is weird because I'm Asian, but remember, I grew up in an Italian Catholic family, so I didn't eat sushi growing up. But I'm just not a big seafood fan. I don't like fish. I just don't like sushi. It doesn't do anything for me. I'd eat it if there was nothing else, but I don't like it in general. Number 14, I can't stand the sound of nails on a chalkboard. It drives me crazy. If you guys are the same, I'd love to know that I'm not the only one. I know that I can't be, but just the sound of nails on a chalkboard, ugh, I don't like it. It creeps me out. Number 15, in high school in my senior year, you know how they do the voting, like most athletic or most school spirit or whatever? I was voted most outgoing in my high school class, and I'm really proud of that. I know that's kind of dorky because it was a long time ago, but I was really proud of that back then because I thought that was a really good thing to be voted or known for, is being outgoing. So I'm still proud of that. I like that. Okay, number 16. I lived in Utah when I was a baby. When I was first adopted, my parents were living in Utah, so I lived in Utah, obviously, and I loved it so much, and especially seeing all the pictures, and my parents took a ton of pictures, and just from what I've seen and what I know of it, I think it's absolutely gorgeous, the way that it looks, the scenery, the mountains, and one day I would like to live in Utah again, and you never know, because I never thought I'd ever live in the South. So one day down the road, I would like to live in Utah, even if it's just briefly. I would love to live there one day again. Number 17, my favorite decade of all time is the 90s. I might be biased because I was born in the 80s and raised in the 90s, but I love 90s music and fashion and makeup. I just love the 90s. I think it's the best decade in my opinion. Number 18, my feet used to be a size 7.5 my whole life. Well, you know, since when I was like from when I was a teenager all the way until I was 30, my feet were a solid 7.5. After I had Grady, my feet have been an 8.5. Sometimes I can get away with an 8, but now I'm pretty much a true 8.5. So my feet grew a full size during pregnancy, I guess, and never went back. So I had to pretty much get rid of a lot of my shoes because 7.5 doesn't work for me anymore. So my feet grew. What are you gonna do? Okay, number 19. My all-time favorite scent to wear, and I am a scent junkie, guys. You know this. I love scents. Tons of different scents. But my favorite scent to wear on my body is Clinique Happy. It just reminds me of, it's just my favorite. It definitely reminds me of like the year 2000. I could be wrong, but I think that's around the time when it came out or got popular. But I remember my very first roommate in the year 2000 had that perfume, and I was obsessed with it. And I would always ask her to borrow it. And I ended up borrowing it so much that it was empty, and she was so mad at me, so I had to buy her a new one. And back then in college, I was broke. So buying a bottle of Clinique Happy was expensive for me. So I will always love that scent. It reminds me of just a lot of happy times in my life, and I have a bottle upstairs now, and I'm in love with it. I will love that scent forever. Try not to make this too long. Okay, number 20. I don't like passive-aggressive people. If you're passive-aggressive, I probably don't really want you in my life. No offense. Number 21, I love making people laugh, especially my friends and family. I don't want to say like I love being the life of the party. It's not so much that, but I just love making people laugh or crack up, and I love to laugh. And when I see that I'm making other people laugh, it gives me a really good feeling. I love making people laugh. Love it. Number 22, my favorite trait in a person, in someone's personality, is having a sense of humor. I feel like if you have a sense of humor, a lot of other positive qualities can come along with that, sort of go hand in hand. But if you have a sense of humor, you're okay in my book, because I love people who don't take life too seriously. It's not all fun and games in life, as you know, and life is hard, but I feel like having a sense of humor can really be refreshing, because some people don't have one at all. But I love people with a sense of humor who aren't afraid to laugh at themselves, because I'm laughing at myself all day. Trust me on that. Number 23, I hate sour cream. I hate sour cream more than I hate ants. If someone said to me that I had to eat a spoon of sour cream, I might die. I hate sour cream, the way it looks, the way it smells. I hate it. Ugh. I'm literally getting creeped out just thinking about sour cream. I hate it so much. Number 24, my hair is naturally wavy. Most people think my hair is pin straight because I'm Asian. No, my hair is wavy. When you guys see my hair straight, it's because I straightened it. My hair is not straight. There are times I wish my hair was straight, but then there's times that I'm glad it's not straight because my hair does curl or wave really easily because it is wavy, that it also straightens very well. So I am lucky that I have hair that cooperates with both being straightened and curly, so it's kind of a nice balance. Number 25. One day I want to see Europe, all of Europe. I want to go to Europe for like a month and backpack, I guess, not literally, but I want to just tour Europe and do like a huge tour of all the major areas in Europe. One day I want to do that. I just need to wait till my son gets older because I would love for him to be able to experience that with me and my husband. So one day my dream, I guess, number one dream vacation is to do a long extended, like I said, like a month-long tour of all the major areas in Europe. I would absolutely love to do that one day, and I think that I will because I am the kind of person, if I set my mind to something, it usually ends up happening if I work hard enough for it. So I hope you guys enjoyed these 25 random facts about me. If you guys do YouTube videos, comment down below if you do this video on your channel because I would love to watch it. I hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you very soon. Bye, guys.